I think we're on. Maybe. Hello. Welcome to the slightly earlier stream. The dog's here. Billy's here. Somewhere down there. Say hello, Billy. Yeah, you're a good dog. So, Billy's here. The 3D printer is making its lovely dulcet 3D printer tones. I know that I have now forgotten to bring something in from the house, so I don't know whether at some point I will retreat back to go get it, but there we go. I hope you have had a good week. It has been incredibly busy, but that's all right. Billy has also been donated, thanks to Jean, a new bed blanket that he is deciding whether he wants to go and lie on. He's thinking about it. Right now, it's for his butt only. That's okay. So, you going to say hello to everyone? No. He's going to hide. All right. So, hang on, I should probably turn that. That's an unflattering angle. So back again, slightly earlier. Hopefully it finishes slightly earlier as well, and then everyone can get to bed sooner because it's a long day. Children's birthday party today, child's party. So a lot of being out and about in the cold, but I've got some things to show, and I think I'll probably just end up cracking on with the vacuum cleaner Jaws build. Part of the reason I'm thinking of doing a stream about it is that it's a nice, easy way for me to get some footage for the build blog or the build videos as I complete them. So I've been doing a lot of work on the floor head part of it. And I have some new stuff as well that I can show. So I guess without further ado, I will delve into new stuff. But first, you'll have to just bear with me while I actually tidy the bench because it's a pigsty. So there's the bench. As you can see, it's busy. It's been very busy. And a lot of this is stuff that has, stuff that's been stripped away from the jaw. Oh, there you go. The dog's decided he wants to lie on the blanket. There you go, Jean. Well done. Let me just sort of tilt that a little bit. Something like that. Beautiful. So, tidying the bench, and maybe since this is here, I should start with this. So, that's a good idea. I've got basically components left out. I've gone through a lot of prototypes for this piece, which I should go back to the start. Ew, this is a biological hazard. This is the belt lifting mechanism off the vacuum cleaner as it was. This is a very sort of chunky belt lifter mechanism that became the standard. They're all kind of this depth now. They change shape and profile, but they're pretty much all like this. And the cleaner from the film, for anyone that doesn't know, the film's Mr. Mum with Michael Keaton. The cleaner in the film does not have a belt lifter mechanism like this. It's actually very low profile, and it's basically a small piece of plastic with a raised edge on it. So I have been very busy in CAD modeling this, but instead of just trying to model something that was just a flat piece of plastic, I also wanted to model something that would fill in this hole. So to that end, I've done this. But then to complicate that, if I go right back to the sort of first generation, and I'll show you these as we go through. So the first generation was just a flat one, and then I realized that this rivet is in the way, and I could probably cut it off, but I don't think I want to damage the aluminum. So being that I was only using thin plastic anyway, I sat this on, and then I decided to just push through where the rivet was and then try and measure where that was and add it to my CAD design. The first generation was again, second generation was pretty close, but it was slightly squint. It's lower on that side than that side, which meant that this hole wasn't quite in the right spot. I needed to move it up. Obviously, that's actually it sitting flat. So I needed to move the hole down so that this thing could be able to go back up. So the second generation, no, I moved the hole up, sorry. So this is now the third iteration of it. Sorry, I printed these in draft. Third iteration was pretty close, but the pin was quite to the extreme of the hole, so I wanted to change that and move the hole that way, so it would be more central. And I tried the fourth generation, and basically moved the hole the wrong direction. You can see there. So I had another go. Fifth generation. There's the point that I think I pretty much got it. I think I wanted to do one last bit of tweaking and make it a little bit thicker. So then this model, which I think is pretty good now, I think that will do. It'll be able to hold itself in the right position. But I am also wondering whether I should actually shrink this down a little bit, because maybe it extends too far past this ledge. For me, the build of this isn't so much that it's difficult. My 3D modeling skills aren't great, so I'm learning as I go, and part of this is evidence of the learning and design process. But hey, it's what you do. There's also a hole on the original prop, a small silver hole down here, so I've added that to the CAD file, and hopefully the next generation is on the printer, and I really hope that will work. So that's that part of the build, and I can now move that out of the way. So one moment. I have also overindulged in delicious chocolate treats this evening, which may be a problem later on. I took this light globe out because the other thing I'll get to in a moment is the light lens. So there is basically a hinged lid on the vacuum cleaner with this headlight in it. Now, originally I was just going to glue something over the top of this, but I have noticed that this has some mounting lugs, and I wondered whether I would be able to keep those equidistant. I'm not, like I say, my CAD skills aren't great, but I think they might be able to stretch to this, and I'm happy to try and push my skills forward wherever I can. So what I'd like to try and do is make another one of these, and then somewhere in here I have got, maybe I do, maybe I don't. Somewhere I've got some, I think they're called T10 style LED holders, and I would like to make something. It basically looks like they've got a piece of folded aluminium and stuck a torch to it, to have a round thing. So I've started to draw that up in CAD. That looks okay. I'll just need to add a piece that has these mounting holes on it, which I think I can do. What else? Motors haven't been the problem. The biggest issue has been wheels. And really, the proper biggest headache hasn't been wheels. It's been how people describe the wheels. Because nobody describes wheels the same way when I'm shopping online for them. So when I looked for 60 millimeter wheels, because these are 60 mil, 3D print, and these would be fine, but will they have enough traction on hard surfaces, or will they just spin? I'm hoping they'll have enough traction because the vacuum's quite heavy, and maybe they will. I'm going to go with these for now. But if you order 60 millimeter wheels, you get these, because the wheel is 60 millimeters, but the wheel and tire is 65 millimeters. So when I ordered something that was 65 millimeters of wheel and tire, I got this. And again, 60 millimeter wheel and tire. Again, it's a 60 millimeter wheel with a tire. So through looking through lots of my other spares from the cyber mats that I've done, I found that I had these, and I can still get these. The problem with these, however, is that the mounting boss on them is not the same as the mounting boss that I have for the motors. These motors can mount this way with this sort of threaded insert, but of course these do not mount that way. Now maybe a single screw through will work, but there's nothing to stop this wheel just spinning, like that. So I'd need to try and find a better way to do it, or I need to be able to make some kind of adapter either from the shaft of this motor to here, because this has got a twin-sided flat on it and this doesn't. So some kind of adapter to go straight onto there, or the other, and of course they don't fit straight away. Some kind of adapter is needed. I don't know what kind yet. The second option is, or the second issue is this going to be enough contact patch on a hard surface to actually propel this vacuum cleaner forward, or will it just not be enough? Then I had the idea of, well, I can't get any wheels that are thicker than this in this size, but I could get two. And could I do some kind of even a staggered dual axle setup where one of these is screwed to the other, and then they're both attached to that? And again, another possibility. And then these would fit quite well through here and still leave enough poking out to be able to drive the thing. As I can't decide on that right now, and as this and this actually fit each other, I'm going to go with this as my mounting option for the time being. I've cut out my base plate that does fit quite nicely inside the base of the floor head. So if I get the floor head, this sits in there like so. There are still issues. One of them being that it's kind of hard to tell, but this, I can't really see, but the profile of this floor head is it's kind of flat at the back, but it leans forward, it's scooped forward at the front. So that means that I will need some way to replicate that so that this base plate has got something to attach here and here on the front, and then also in some similar locations on the back. I'd originally thought of aluminium extrusion, which would probably be fine for this back part, which is relatively flat. If I got it's not, that bit is quite flat, you can see, but if I did the same this way around on the front, absolutely not flat at all. So that's, even that way you can tell there's a hell of an uneven gap there, a wedge shaped. So then I talking to Matt today, had thought about maybe some steel right angles that maybe had some small holes that I could tap and re-drill and bend, because the thing about aluminium extrusion, it's formed that way, and you can't necessarily bend it without either risk of cracking it or just not having it bend the way that you want. So I'm in a bit of a quandary there, but again, not beyond my skills, just time consuming. So I might keep that because I'll probably do some work on this part later. A pin for the handle arrived from Adelaide, so thanks to the seller on eBay for that. What else is, and I've been thinking about using these little Wago style connector housings, simple to mount, to be able to have wires. So basically one of these becomes distribution for all the positive, one becomes distribution for all the negatives or all the grounds, whatever you want to call them, and then hook them up to the motors. Wheels will sit in there, motors in brackets down here, and that whole thing just needs to be secured into the base plate, and the wiring will hopefully live inside the main unit. What should I do next? I'll get this part next. Without trying to lose too much. In fact, I'll put this. I don't want to stand on the dog. I'll unplug these. To go through my next problem, I got a million problems. You give me a solution, I'll give you another problem. That's okay. Here is the front of the unit, or the base of the unit. So this is the basic chassis of a Kirby vacuum. Most modern Kirbys still pretty much follow this design. They've got different housings that come out because now there's a gearbox at the back. This is an old push me pull you design. So this part for the vacuum fraternity connects to the bottom section of the bag, which collects hard, heavy particles called the mini emptor. And in there sits this. I'll just move that back. In there sits this, where basically the hard particles, the fill tube for the bag, it actually goes that way up. The fill tube for the bag sits on there, goes through the top, and then the particles drop through into a little trapdoor that you can access. So what I'd like to do is replicate this shape with the two holes and then have a pocket for a lithium polymer battery to sit in, and for the wiring to then be able to pass through into the machine proper, where it can then sit in here. Obviously the base plate goes on the front, the base plate goes on there. I can have my wiring pass through, and everything's contained in one unit. This is as light as I can make it, and it's still quite heavy. So it does make me worry that these wheels wouldn't be strong enough, but they're not really taking the weight as such. They're just driving the thing forward. So it's a bunch of unknowns right now. I'm not sure what should happen. The dog is now asleep. I'll just go to puppy cam. There we go. The dog's asleep. So he's just waiting for the stream to be over. Hello, puppy. No, I'll move that so it doesn't fall on him. So that's progress on the Kirby. I've pulled out lots of parts that are just, sometimes I think, oh, should I save them for my son who might want to use them as spares? But then again, some of these things that get taken off are just absolutely grotesque, and I think, why would you want to save them? But there we go. I'll put them in a baggie, and we can decide whether they're going to be lovingly placed in as spares or just recycled. Oh, now this is the top. This goes under here for this headlight assembly. And I did think that this would be the ideal way to mount the piece that will go here that has a a round headlight on it. And the printer has just finished the next prototype, so I might even let that cool down and then maybe have... Hello, Billy. He's asleep. There you go. Back to puppy cam. Here's puppy cam. Puppy cam. I could probably honestly just stream the dog sleeping and it would be more successful than what I currently do. But there you go. Dun, 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 dun. We should just stream him sleeping with some lullaby music. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, in here I'll try and I don't know if I've got a screwdriver. If I do, I will try and open it up so that I can sort of illustrate what I'm talking about. It may come apart. Hold on. Let's just see. Is that? Because I think this rear housing comes off. And I can never remember where all the screws go. But I think basically it's in 3 pieces. So this front piece, there's this kind of intermediate piece, and then the rear housing. But I think it's only 3 screws, and the rear housing will come off. And my plan is to try and house most of the control electronics in the rear housing. But because it's made of cast aluminum, I'm not really sure how well it will deal with RF signals. Yes, it will come off. Okay. So in the back here is the switch. Now the other thing I'd like to do is to retain the original switch, and possibly, if I can't house the receiver, which is this thing, if I can't suitably house it in here, which I thought, I could maybe house it somewhere down here and maybe poke the antenna up through this through a hole in this back piece, which could be an option, just drilling a hole and passing it through, or I could even have it coming up where this power cord is meant to go through and just sort of tape it onto the back of the housing. I don't think anyone would notice it. I mean, it's just got to be there, and maybe that would work. My other thought was to have this the wiring coming through this part, which goes to the mini emptor, and housing this in the bag. 2.4 gigahertz signals, though, it's quite a powerful signal, and it's not going to be operating at very long range. So that's my my thing. So these are just the wires for the light. So I will probably end up just snipping them because they kind of get in the way. And ew, gross. I really wish I hadn't done that now. Obviously, lots of cleaning is going to happen. I wonder what would be good to soak this in. Maybe I should take all the casings apart and maybe just soak it in. I don't know. French lullaby. Not German lullaby. Go to sleep or we will kill you. No, that's mean. You can't make German jokes like that. That's lowbrow humor. So I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe these slots on the side, it might be discreet enough to just have the receiver antenna poke through the side, possibly. I don't know whether it will, or even sort of poking through here and sitting on the side of the machine. I think probably the best solution, oh god, I've probably just broken that, will be to have it come through here. Just drill a hole, feed it through where this connector is, and that way no one can accidentally try and plug something into it. That'd be a terrible thing to have happen. Then the next part is this caster. So this caster is, I'm planning for it to go basically here, or as far back as I can get it to try and sit, but I think sitting in between those, it's going to hit those wheels. So if I put it over here, not only does it fit nicely in that spot, it doesn't foul anything. It should be slightly taller than those wheels, even if I have to raise it up a little bit with another piece of aluminium or something underneath it. That way these wheels can still be there. They can still steady the thing if it's going to tip back, but also it will allow, when the motors turn, it will just spin. So this thing should be able to basically turn on a sixpence, and that gives it a larger variety of behaviors, and probably helps it to be a bit less lumbering, as all upright vacuums are. Because the other thing is, I mean, it could fall over as well. It does need a lot of weight in the base, because the whole thing is very tall. And if you have something very tall, if you think about Jeremy Clarkson's Caravan that he'd made, it was dangerous if you had to slow down quickly at all. So this would suffer from the same thing. It would try to tip over, so you've got to make sure that it's that's why I'm thinking the 6-volt motors. It may not travel very fast, but at least it should be quite maneuverable, if nothing else. So I'll keep those wheels. I'll probably ditch the wheels off of here, just in the aid of saving some weight. and then probably putting more weight over those driving wheels as well, and distributing it a little bit better. So yeah, that's where we are up to with Jaws at the moment. That's the best update I can give on that part of where it's going to go and how it's supposed to go. Whether or not any of this happens is really up in the air. I hope it will work, but I don't know. It might not. It may just wind up sitting there as a big pile of disappointment. Who knows? You've got to have goals, right? I've just realized for the new stuff, I was going to try out the new Hakko soldering iron, and I have left all the brand new tips in the kitchen. So I guess I'm not trying it out tonight. That might end up just being a separate video. Okay. So if you've got any ideas about what I can soak aluminum in, I'll Google it. You know, I don't always need to be rescued by the comments section. I also like to just try and maneuver this wiring harness out just to get it out of the way. And that will let me soak everything that much nicer. And take off these. I won't take them off yet because then I'll scuff up the bottom of the housing, but this axle is gross anyway, so that should go. Alright, put that down there. Dog's waggling ears. Alright, new stuff. I need some new stuff theme song. I was looking for that. That's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it? If you saw the video earlier in the week, I have a Father's Day present. I have a few Father's Day presents. One thing that I've got that I'm very excited about is this. It's a Dad on the Go drink bottle. Not that I'm usually a drink bottle guy, but very handy for when I'm using the anti-theft Makita coffee machine because there's no running water out here. So I can fill this up and pour it in the caffeination device readily. So I'm excited about that. So that was a cool Father's Day thing. More new stuff. These arrived. And I'm thinking that it might be a really good idea to get some practice with these. They're called quick connectors, but whenever I've Googled quick connectors, I don't seem to be able to find just the crimps. I can't seem to find the crimps anywhere, just on their own. So it makes it difficult to want to practice with these because I might stuff it up and then, you know, there's only a finite number of these things and eventually I'm going to need at least 6 of each, you know, even if I stuff up all the others. So if I get some, I'd like to be able to practice a bit more thoroughly. So if anyone knows what these are called, let me know. But I'm happy to have a big grab bag of these things because getting good at this would really be helpful with some of these builds to be able to consolidate wires into harnesses, you know, rather than just have lots of individual wires and needing different colored wire and stuff like that. There is more gear on the way. But yeah. And then I have the drone, the 0x Swift. Now the funny thing is this came this week. I've just seen one for sale on my local Facebook marketplace for a lot more than this thing cost. And that's not an indictment on how much this thing cost. It's more that, you know, just because it's a drone doesn't magically mean it's worth $3 million or something. I don't remember how it opens. This end. That end opens. So I haven't really had a good thorough look at it. So let's have a look at it together, shall we? Lovely. Oh, it's got a caution and a know your drone thing. And whatever. Congratulations on your purchase of... Wow, they really don't want you flying it. Nanny says no. Okay, it's got... comes with blade covers and blades and... Oh, there's a battery release button. Okay. I've gazed through it probably more than most people do. So it's got a floating thing. Oh, there we go. That folds out like that. Oh, they fold down like that. Okay. There's like a headless 360 thing. Oh, that must be like takeoff and landing. So just land, take off, land. This must be the place to hold your mobile phone. So one's Apple or Android Andromeda phone. Very good. It all folds up nice. A pity it doesn't come with a case. And then there's it sort of all folds out. It weighs nothing. It weighs so much less than nothing. It's quite. Oh, right. So it's got two with legs so that it's the same height when it lands. It's cute. And it must have some little like clip-on blade. Oh, so you can put them on like that, and people don't go, "Mommy, ah!" They wouldn't do that because we don't live in America. Very good. And there's a battery. Wow. That weighs nothing. It weighs so much less than nothing. It's quite remarkable. That is teeny. Oh, it's got a teeny tiny camera. I am looking forward to flying. Not that I've ever done this before. Oh, there's a power button on it. Bloop. I mean, this probably runs on the same 2.4 gig frequency. And then it's got a bag of things. What's in the bag of things? I would say there's going to be a USB cord in the bag of things. And some things. Oh, USB cord. Oh, look, a tiny screwdriver. And some spare blades. That's cute. Some blue ones. And oh, two sets of blades. Are they the same size? Are they the... Yeah, they do. They look the same size. That's nifty. That's nifty and natty. And a USB charger. I mean, you already get more than you get when you buy an iPhone. 6.5mm female spade crimp. Very good. Oh, wow. This is better than one I've got from electrical discounters. This is a 2.1 amp outputting switching power supply. The finest, made of the finest Chinesium. People say it like it's a bad thing. Everything's made in China. Stop pretending like the world doesn't work that way. Everything's made there. The laptop that you are currently complaining about, that everything's made in China, was made in China. Okay, where's the charging port? Oh, maybe that's for charging. Is that only for charging this? No. How would you charge this? Surely this has got... It's got some batteries. Oh, that just takes AAA's. Okay. So there's got to be... What is this little charging fadangle? It's got plenty of sort of greasy schmutz on it. Oh, is that a little... No, that's the battery holder. Does the battery just get charged directly with USB? No. There's got to be something there that... It's behind you. What? I'm gonna have to. I'll resort to looking at the book. Plugs directly into the battery, but that's what I thought. But I don't see. I don't see. Matt wins the prize. Sheesh. That's living on the ragged edge right there. There is like no. That's asking to break, isn't it? Is it? Is if a ham-fisted numbskull? Oh, the plastics. Ugh. The plastic's actually covering up the side of the USB port. That's not a good start. Shall I use unreasonable force? I think that's in. Now I just need to plug it in somewhere to charge it. I haven't got anywhere to plug it in. But that means I'll leave it now and it'll all be everywhere. That's okay though. Well, that's cute. I'm looking forward to flying, to taking it out somewhere and becoming a public nuisance, or to just having a look at how good the camera is. Because that sounds like fun too. It goes that way in, I think. It needs a little case though. It needs, you know me, I like a little case. It needs to have a little accessory thing to carry all its little dinguses. It's just not complete without a little case. That's why I should have bought the eBay ones, because they all came with a little travel dingus. A little dingus to put your dinguses in. So there. All right, I will look for 6.5mm crimps. I should actually measure them as well, shouldn't I? That might even be helpful. I mean, mildly helpful. I mean, not too helpful. But if you just see, if you know, I don't know, maybe knew what size the thing was. I mean, I suppose I could just, you know, put this on the seat of my car to take it. But you know what it means if it doesn't have a case? I get to buy a case. So it means that I'll have to go on the Hobby King site and you know, buy one of those cool cases for one of those, or I could make a case. I could use a DeWalt toolbox and make a case. Oh, that's a good idea too. See, now I'm starting to think. It's a dangerous thing when I do that. Now, where's my thing? There's my thing. There's my thing. Now I'm gonna take a guess that I'm looking at the male. This is something I've not come across. These calipers now only work with the battery cover off. That has got to be a problem. All right. So they're about 3mm. I'll take them for these. Those are about 4mm. So I guess if I started looking for 3 or 4mm crimps to go with those, I don't know what size the ones on the other one are, but something similar. But it's nice, a little grab bag of dinguses came, and of course I have spare. Oh, geez, Billy, man, what are you doing? A dog has just let rip in here, and it is not pleasant. Billy, what have you done? Did you do that? Did you do that? Did you fart? Did you? Dude, it stinks. Are you okay? No wonder you're lying down. All right. So the printer's finished. So here we go. This is Mark V. I'm starting to run out of yellow PLA. Not that it matters, because I will just put a different color in. Yeah, see, as soon as I put the thing in it, it's probably just a dicky connection or a dodgy battery or a collection of dicky and dodgy. Now, I had to try and thicken this up a little bit. It's still a little bit on the thin side. So I think this is now 30% infill, whereas the first prototypes were only 10. I'm just trying to get that hole a little bit cleaner. But I might need to drastically increase the number of perimeters. So this is it. This is the piece. Has it been a complete waste of time? Because the way I've done it in Tinkercad, whenever I change this hole, because it's on the back, I have to kind of flip the model up like this. And then I have to remember, am I going that way to go that way? And I have to go, up's okay, but left and right really buggers me up. So there have been quite a few models that I've done where I've gone right to go left, but I should have gone left to go right. So, no, that's pretty good. I've got my hole down here where I need to have it now. So I think the next thing I might try and do is scale it. I might just, even if I take it down to 99%, 98%, just see if I can get it closer to this line. Because the trouble with Tinkercad that you don't have with something like Fusion is that you can go and alter one aspect of a model and it doesn't change everything. Fusion doesn't change everything else. But if you do it in Tinkercad, as soon as you change one thing, everything else changes. So I can't just change the size of this shape. I've got to ungroup everything, change the size of this, which of course then changes the placement of that. So it might be better to just try and scale it in the slicer. But I think that'll work all right, even if I left it as is. Now I need to find some cool Mission Brown paint, because this is a little bit too translucent. So I might even print this in black or something. And maybe even put some body filler in here to try and fill in the 3D printedness. I don't think it's going to just be a print and stick job. But it's moving. That's progress. I'm happy with that. I will persist with those files. I might even print them just in a better filament and a higher infill. That'll be good. Yeah. Happy days. So, it might be time to start cracking on with some Jaws drivetrain action. And again, I'm going to wish that I had better screwdrivers. Oh, I'm sorry, did I wake you up, mate? Oh, the dog's awake now. He's not happy. I dropped things on the ground. You okay, mate? Bill? No. What are you mad at? What are you doing? Do you want to go out? Do you want to go back in the house? Do you want to go sleep on the couch? Yeah, that's fair enough. Oh, you're a good fella. Hey, you're not horrible, are you? I mean, you stink, but you're not horrible. You're a good dog. Yeah, you're a good fella. But yeah, I don't have a correct screwdriver to be doing this, so this might balls up a bit. Let's give it a whirl. So, do you remember the order to put these things on? Oh yeah, they're still there. It might be okay. Of course, I'm sure I have a DeWalt screwdriver that I could use. Oh, I mean, that's the whole reason we're here, isn't it? You just want to see me use the use the big boy tools. All right, I'll get it. Why not? Yeah, let's do this. Hold on. I hope you can't see down my butt crack. Or if you could, well, you can't see down it for very long. All right, there we go. Hey. There we go. That's the stuff we want, right? Ha! Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll need the other screws. I'll need them. Oh, you know what? I'm kind of sad. I've already put those screws in by hand. But never mind. There's a cure for that. I'll just take them out by hand. Take them out by hand like this. Beautiful. And the other one. The other bracket here. There we go. Yeah. The reason you buy DeWalt. Yeah. Start this one off so I don't hurt my fingies. Yay! Or they're just pointing through. But that's okay. Savor the DeWaltness. Should really just not tighten them up so much, should I? Clutch! Okay, less clutch. More clutch. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Now we need the motors. Motors. And motor screws. There we go. Now I don't have a DeWalt driver the right size to do this. Otherwise, you know I'd be using it, but this one's too. Oh my gosh. Did it actually? I should probably turn the clutch. Oh, yeah. No, I should probably put the clutch right down. Lovely. Do 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 do. This is that thing you're never meant to do. I always start them off by hand, but then you get to use the tools less. That's the whole point. Ah! The magnetism is not strong with this one. Come on, Project Farm. Nice. So there we go. This is our basic drivetrain. The next stage. The next part's going to be kind of difficult because I'd like to try and fit the wheels onto the shaft, but obviously they're not going to go on like this. So it's probably going to wind up being that the ends of this are going to get cut off just to accommodate the wheels being able to go on. But we'll try it this way. Sure, we'll do it your way. And there's the flat side. I'm in the middle of watching the next season of Cobra Kai. So I almost didn't make it out here. So as much as I would like to do this, because it will free up space and it'll be fun to do, I would also like to be watching that. There is a slight bend to this piece as well. It's slightly bananaed, but I'm hoping I'll be able to take that out of it. Okay, one. Where's the flat? We've got to. Oh, I'd like going like that. There we go. One. Yeah. I foresee problems. There's no way that is going to be enough clearance to get this moving. But for proof of concept, let's stick with it. Alright. We'll just try and do the right thing. Is there a hole in the center? There is. There's a hole in my center. That's for attaching the axles. Nope, that's not long enough. It is. I'm wondering whether that would be a better orientation than t'other. And then those little Wagos, which I can't really lay hands on, maybe. Can I? Possibly. No. Well, that's a bit of a bugger. So what I'll be looking to do then is also 3D print some lower motor mounts, because if I could take that down, even if it was 3mm, just to give these wheels a bit more exposure on the other side, that would probably be ideal. But never mind. That's okay. So what should I do? I'm really not sure. I know that one thing I can do and this is where the other soldering iron would be handy, but there you go. I don't have it. What I'm going to do is switch on Old Faithful, immerse all the soldering iron, and what I might do is just solder some wire to these. That sounds like a thing that's probably worth doing. I will have to unplug the stereo to do that, but that's okay. There's Myrtle's cord. So that's not the Hacko. This is the Wish It Was a Hacko, or even a Weller. I'll turn that off and move them out of the way because you probably don't want to leave those near a hot soldering iron or even a hot soldering iron. I know I said I'd never make those references, but there you go. Strippers. Let's face it, you've got to have a stripper. There's a stripper. Oh no, it's just a JST type thing. Solder. Oh my gosh. It's the joy of having a workbench covered in crap. Can't necessarily find all the stuff you need. Spare bulb. Thank you, Mr. Kirby. No, it's not in there. I fear I'm going to have to stand up, which is going to make the dog think that we're finished. But as there's only 4 minutes to go in the stream, well, maybe the stream will go on a bit longer, thus negating the point of having an earlier stream. Oh, that sounded important. Without casting blame, I just didn't do my normal clean up before the stream, which is absolutely my own fault, 100%. And now I'm paying for it because I can't find what I need. I don't know where my roll of solder is. Well, that's going to be a disappointing end, isn't it? Well, probably a relieving end for everyone else. Disappointing for me. I don't like leaving things with zero progress. Okay, maybe school reports, but other than that, it's not usually the way I like things to finish. But it looks like that is the way it's going to go tonight. Unless my solder happens to just magically reveal itself in the next couple of minutes, because I'm pretty sure no one wants to see a stream of man looks for solder. Man looks for thing, he should know where it is. In tonight's episode, I looked for a thing that I just put down a moment ago. I have a little, I don't even have one of those little emergency rolls. Good. That is terrible. It is utterly terrible. How the hell do I go so far without knowing where the solder is? Well, that's unfortunate. Is it hiding under here? There's all kinds of crap around here. Hard drive things and bags of God knows what. Still waiting for things to arrive as well. Well, on that great disappointment, I will turn off the soldering iron because I cannot for the life of me find the solder. Is it in here? Is it hiding in a drawer? Nope. Is it there? No. Oh. Bugger me. Well, I guess next time I'm going to solder some wires onto those motors, but the plan was to have them soldered on, so then I knew, you know, at the worst case, they've got to reach as far as the other. Although I think, I don't know, maybe it's better to have that like that, so if somebody's sort of feeling through to pull this out, they're not going to accidentally hit one of the levers. But then again, I also thought that might be kinder to the person's finger. I don't know. So, on that amazing disappointment, goodbye all, and in case the solder jumps out in the next 30 seconds, which looks highly unlikely, thank you anyone for watching, and I wouldn't call this workbench that busy, but I appreciate the compliment. But I'll try again at the early time next week as well. And good night. Good night from the dog. Hold on. Dog cam. No. Oh, he's hiding behind there. Look. If I move and you see the solder, shout out at home. All right. There it is. You can just see the dog. He really wants to go inside. Billy, do you want to go in? We're going to go inside? Is it bedtime? Yeah. All right. Night all. Awkward ending.